Cross over to Mavis Owusu-Gyamfi. She's an Executive Vice President at the African Centre for Economic Transformation and joins us now from Accra in Ghana. Good to have you with us, Ms Gyamfi. Can I just begin with an overview? Are you pleased with how the summit is progressing? And is it setting, or has it set, the right tone? And is it getting its point across to the international community?
Yes, so thank you very much. I am pleased with the progress the summit has made thus far. You know, we really wanted to hear a voice from Africa, a consensual voice from Africa, and we've heard it. Africa has been very clear in stating that we are part of the solution to the world's global climate crisis. We need together, and we have solutions, but those solutions need to be bold. We've got to stop those incremental changes that we've been discussing for so long. So Africa is pushing for a bold solution and is saying we can contribute to fixing this bold solution, but we must be at the table of decision making, and you must hear our voice and what we need when we can some of these. Is that we hope that at the end of today, the declaration is going to have a very clear position around Marrakesh and on COP20.
I think we're having a slight problem there with Ms Gyamfi. What we'll do is try and get back to her and get a clearer connection as and when we can. We can rejoin Mavis Owusu-Gyamfi, Executive Vice President at the African Centre for Economic Transformation, who was talking to us earlier from Accra in Ghana. It's good to get you back, Ms Gyamfi. Let's just move on with the conversation. Of course, we've got this conference going on in Kenya right now. Its president has eloquently highlighted how rich nations sort of pollute more, and Africa suffers. John Kerry, the US climate envoy, acknowledged this and Africa's woes. But it's about rich countries really paying for the pollution and helping Africa avoid the consequences. That's really also been at the heart of the debate. But has the message got through?
I think the message that has been made has been very much around, yes, we are, bearing the brunt of climate change right now. However, we believe we can contribute to the solution only if we can gain access to the finances that are necessary to enable us to contribute to that solution. So a lot of the messages that has come from African leaders has not been around just about rich countries paying. They are saying to fill the gap, there are three sources of finance. Of course, our own domestic resources will be one. And as part of this process, they are asking for a fairer global tax system. They are also saying, let's look at carbon credits. Let's look at the fact that we are contributing to the world's lungs, and we are doing that at the expense of something else. So let's get a return on it. So really looking at the carbon market. They are also asking that the global financial architecture be reformed to enable them to access concessional financing, to enable them to look at things like debt swaps for climate, and also to help them think through innovative solutions. We talk a lot about this, the special drawing rights, and the fact that a lot of rich nations are sitting on special drawing rights that they are not utilizing. That can be repackaged and redirected to the regional development banks, such as the African Development Bank, to really help drive the climate agenda. And finally, the third source, sorry.
No, please, I'll let you finish, please.
The third source is going to be from the private sector. Now, the private sector, there are different models. There's going to be guarantees. We've got to think about blended finance, but we've also got to think about the cost of borrowing to Africa. There has been a lot of discussion over the last few days on how much more Africa is paying in comparison to the rest of the world when they go to the financial market. And it's a mixture of issues, but at the heart of it is perception. I'm
going to jump in there, because or else we'll get run out of time. You say there's a mixture of issues. One of those big issues that many of the public watching this programme will say is that oversight is required when billions of dollars are going to be invested in Africa. And then, even if you do have oversight, you have a whole continent at the moment, and with respect, that can be quite unstable. We're seeing it right now. Governments overthrown by military regimes, democracy not being clear and transparent. And then you have the whole climate change issue affecting countries and the way that those governments actually react to it. It's no wonder that institutions and the private sector, as you say, and maybe even the rich West, hold back because they're never quite sure where that money is going. Is that a fair argument?
It's a mixed argument. I mean, we have public financial management issues on the continent, but if you actually look at the draft declaration that has come out, countries have made a commitment to look at their public finance management. On the issues of conflict and instability, there is a link between poverty and instability. Until we start to see economic transformation on this continent, until we start to see real job opportunities for poor people, until we start to see an interdependence because we depend on each other for our economic growth and our economic development, instability will be a problem. There are very few countries in the world where you see instability when you see economic growth, economic prosperity that benefits everyone. So yes, we do have challenges, but my argument would be the message today is let's look at green industrialization. Let's look at how we navigate the complexities around economic development and economic stability. Yeah. And that will lead to the desperately needed security and reduced conflict that we need on the continent.
Well, let's see how that does progress, certainly as the conference moves on to COP28 later in the year in the United Arab Emirates. For the moment, Mavis Owusu-Gyamfi, thanks for joining us from Accra in Ghana.
Thank you.